Hey everybody, Nick VMX here, and it's the last video in the James Bond feature. Hope you enjoyed the feature. And today we're going to be taking a look at the James Bond girls. Well, you probably knew there was going to be a video like this. I mean, everybody's done this. Now, I'm going to be ranking them, but I want to let you guys know I'm not ranking them in terms of how hot they are. I'm not ranking them in which ones I would rather bang. I'm not doing anything like that. These rankings are objective, and I'm just basically looking at who the best Bond girls were. I'm not going by looks, I'm going by overall package. So first I'm going to take a look at the top 5 best Bond girls, but here's some honorable mentions. Just these are 3 that didn't make the list, but I just wanted to mention them because they're pretty awesome. First honorable mention is Melina Havelock from For Your Eyes Only. She would have made the list, but, well, there were just 5 other ones that were really great. Melina was a really good character because she took part in the plot. She just wasn't eye candy, although she was eye candy. And she really did have a very interesting plot in the movie For Your Eyes Only, which I did enjoy very much. The second honorable mention is Camille from Quantum of Solace. Kind of weird that we don't even know her last name. I thought Camille was very interesting, and I thought the actress who played her did a very good job. And she was actually the youngest ever Bond girl, so that's kind of interesting. A lot like the Bond girls that I like, she's not just eye candy, and she's not just something for Bond to bang. As a matter of fact, there is not even a relationship between Bond and Camille in Quantum of Solace, as he's still not gotten over, the death of Vesper Lynd. And basically, she's someone who works with him. So I thought that was pretty cool. My third honorable mention is someone I wanted to put on the list, but just couldn't do it. Kissy Suzuki from You Only Live Twice. And that's right, her name is Kissy Suzuki. I only know that because I read the novel. They don't actually call her by her name in the movie, which I thought was kind of odd. She also fights alongside Bond, and I thought she was really feisty and cool, so that's why she's an honorable mention. So here's the top 5. Number 5 is Honey Ryder from Dr. No. She was the first Bond girl, unless you count Valerie Mathis from Casino Royale, and I mean, she was basically the archetype by which they all failed to live up to. I mean, just one of the most iconic scenes in filming history is Honey Ryder coming out of the ocean wearing that bikini. And, she really serves a really good purpose. And I thought the character in the book was a little more interesting than the character in the movie because they give more background to her. But, Ursula Andress did a really good job. Should be interesting to note that Ursula Andress also played Vesper Lynd in the 1967 version of Casino Royale, but that one sucked and we don't speak of that. She shall forever be known as Honey Ryder from Dr. No. Awesome. She has to be on the list because she was the first. And number 4 is Natalia Simonova from GoldenEye. I tend to like the smarter Bond girls. I tend to like the ones that aren't hypersexualized, but because Natalia's in this movie, it's not a very sexy movie, it's a very action-oriented movie. Sure, you got Xenia Onatopp, but she's more likely to crush you with her thighs than do anything else with them. And Xenia Onatopp was pretty cool, but Natalia, I liked her. She's a computer hacker, she was an important part of the story, she did get with Bond in the end, and I mean, she wasn't a knockout, but she was good-looking. Gotta love Natalia. And number 3, Pussy Galore from Goldfinger. Now, I gotta give props for the name. You would never, ever get away with that today, having this character, Pussy Galore. Just an interesting aside, in the original script of Goldfinger, when she says, "Hello, Mr. Bond, my name is Pussy Galore," he was supposed to say, "I know you are, but what's your name?" That's funny. It was deemed too suggestive, and instead they changed it to the line where he says, "I must be dreaming," which is a pretty good line, but not as good as the one they cut out. Anyway, Pussy Galore is kind of the opposite of Camille because she was the oldest Bond girl. She's played by Honor Blackman, and they were so intent on getting Honor Blackman to play Pussy Galore that they actually worked into the script that she would be a judo expert because Honor Blackman was a judo expert. In the book, Pussy Galore was a lesbian, and, well, she still got with Bond at the end of the book, but that was something they cut out of the movie, although it's kind of hinted at. I like Pussy Galore because she's technically a bad girl. She's working for Goldfinger, although she eventually turns to the right side. And number 2 is Tracy DiVincenzo from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, also known as Tracy Bond. She is number 2 because she is the one and only girl that Bond has ever married. He's pretended to get married before, but the only time that James Bond actually got married was in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and it was to Tracy. She was the only girl that he was content to spend the rest of his life with, and actually lasted to the wedding. She didn't last much longer, but that's the way the movie goes. Her death is one of the saddest moments in the entire series. You really feel it, and you really feel for Bond. George Lazenby played that last scene perfectly. And Tracy, I mean, she was great. She was assertive, but she was still feminine. Just everything about her was awesome. Plus, she's played by Diana Riggs. Gotta love it. Okay, number one, the best Bond girl. Number one is Vesper Lynd from Casino Royale, and I'm referring to the 2006 version, so she's played by Eva Green. First of all, I want to say that even if I was doing this list based on, who's the hottest, she would still be number one. Eva Green is one of the most beautiful women in the world. There is something wrong with her. She's so hot. But the list is not based on looks. She's still number one because technically she's the first Bond girl. Casino Royale was the first novel. Vesper Lynd was the greatest love that James Bond ever had until he met Tracy. And she basically broke him, and that's why he wasn't able to commit to a relationship, because he never really got over Vesper until he met Tracy. Vesper was this character that she's the perfect mix of femininity and being almost childlike, but also being an assertive woman and being a capable agent. Eva Green, I think I actually liked the way she played Vesper Lynd in the movie better than Vesper Lynd is characterized in the book. And that really does say something, because usually I like the books more, but I think the movie version of Vesper Lynd was the absolute end-all best Bond girl. Just the way they talk to each other and the way their relationship unfolds slowly over time is absolutely great. You probably saw this coming because they did that music video a little while ago, but there you have it. Anyway, I got some time left, so how about the worst Bond girls? First of all, I'll give you some dishonorable mentions. Here's 3 Bond girls that I didn't like, but I didn't hate them enough to put them on the list. First up is Plenty O'Toole from Diamonds Are Forever. She's incredibly annoying, and she needs to be shot. The only reason she's not on the list is because she does die pretty quickly, and she's only in 2 scenes. So, we'll give her a pass, because she's only in the movie for a very brief moment of time. Second dishonorable mention, Bambi and Thumper, a twofer, also from Diamonds Are Forever. What the fuck were they thinking? I mean, you know what? If they weren't named Bambi and Thumper, I wouldn't have cared. It would have been just 2 chicks in bikinis that beat the shit out of Bond. But the fact that they were named Bambi and Thumper, that is so lame. Dishonorable mention. And the third is Domino Patacci from Never Say Never Again. I like the original Domino from Thunderball, and generally speaking, I like Kim Basinger, but this movie sucked, and she sucked in it, and I can't see her with Sean Connery. It's disturbing. Anyway, here we go, the bottom 5 Bond girls. Number 5 is Miranda Frost from Die Another Day. Yeah, like I can't tell she's evil. I mean, she's named Frost. She sounds evil. Give me a break. Now, she was, really hot and everything, and, but she was just terrible. And it was just so obvious that she was going to turn out to be the bad girl. I was so glad when Jinx killed her, even though I was sick of the movie at that point. And I don't know. I just don't like Miranda Frost. I can't really explain it too well, but she sucks. And number 4 is Tiffany Case from Diamonds Are Forever. She's fucking annoying. I don't know what they were thinking with her. The character in the books is a little bit like that, but she also has a vulnerability and a whole backstory, and without that, the character suffers. Also, she's a dumbass. Couldn't stand it. Speaking of dumbasses, and number 3 is Mary Goodnight from The Man with the Golden Gun. My least favorite Bond movie has my 3rd least favorite Bond girl. Now, the girl who played her, I don't know her name, she's really pretty, but I couldn't stand the character. I kept wanting Bond to just pimp smack her. She is so fucking stupid. And what pisses me off the most is that in the books, Mary Goodnight is a really good character. She's Bond's secretary, and, he kind of ends up with her a lot. Alright, number 2. Oh, boy, they really suck now. BB Doll from For Your Eyes Only. Now, I liked For Your Eyes Only, but they could have cut this bitch out of it and it would have been fine. She doesn't contribute anything to the plot. She's annoying. She's way too young for Bond. I mean, just like when she's trying to get with him and she's in the bed naked and he says, "Put your clothes on, I'll get you an ice cream." Man, you couldn't get more owned. She is so irritating, and the only reason she's in the movie is because the actress, Lynn Holly Johnson, was popular at the time, and they wanted, kids who liked her to go see the movie. But, God, I wish she would have gotten killed. Anyway, number one, the absolute worst Bond girl ever is Dr. Christmas Jones from The World Is Not Enough. There's only two things I can say about this. Only two things I can say about Dr. Christmas Jones, and they are Denise Richards. That's it. Denise Richards. That's all I have to say. She can act. She's not as hot as some people think she is, or that she thinks she is. She's a terrible character. The name Christmas Jones, it's stupid. It's not even suggestive or clever or funny or anything. She really, really pissed me off, especially that she turns out to be kind of the good guy, bad girl, while Sophie Marceau, who did a good job, turned out to be the bad one. Well, anyway, that's it. The Bond feature's over. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next feature, which starts the day after tomorrow.